Also, the instructor, Delante, definitely makes sure that any questions that you have does not go unanswered. Very genuine, very transparent, and really loves what he does. And that's one thing that I look for in a mentor.
This broadcast is brought to you by Bold People Get Rich. For more investing knowledge, be sure to visit www.bpgrinc.com.
Now sharing what he's learned with others by hosting courses on investment strategies.
To be able to pass that knowledge on to other people, it makes me feel like, I'm doing something that's valuable in life.
This broadcast is brought to you by Bold People Get Rich. For more investing knowledge, be sure to visit www.bpgrinc.com.
First thing I want to let y'all know is you can start a trading account with as little as $10, all right? And if you're not greedy and trying to get into this and try to make a whole bunch of money really fast, you would understand that even getting into it with $10, maybe you may not make a lot of money, but you can begin to learn the markets with some skin in the game.
This broadcast is brought to you by Bold People Get Rich. For more investing knowledge, be sure to visit www.bpgrinc.com.
But what this lesson is about is, like I said, for the working person. You do not have to be in front of the computer to actually participate in the foreign exchange market. Did y'all know that? Did you know you don't have to actually press buttons to participate in the foreign exchange market? You don't always have to be in front of the screen.
This broadcast is brought to you by Bold People Get Rich. For more investing knowledge, be sure to visit www.bpgrinc.com.
Welcome to Markup Mondays, where every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we analyze the financial markets, educate the community on trading and investing, discuss world news and popular topics. I'm your host, Delante Brady, Chief Analyst and six-figure earner with Bold People Get Rich, and here are some things you need to know about this broadcast. During the market analysis portion of this call, we often find areas in the market to trade or make our investments. To be updated on these entries, exits, and trade management, make sure you tap the 3 dots on my Facebook page and change following to favorites. This way, you'll never miss an update. To receive investment knowledge, exclusive deals, and updates, click the link tree in my bio and subscribe to our mailing list. If you're viewing this broadcast on YouTube, to be kept up to date, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. This is an event made for the people, by the people, and we love to hear your feedback and answer your questions during the show. So please feel free to comment as often as you like. Lastly, all forms of investing do involve risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Increasing leverage increases risk. Before deciding to trade in any financial market, you should carefully consider your financial objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. Any opinion, news, research, analysis, price valuation, or other information contained in this video does not constitute investment advice. No person or persons in this video is a financial advisor.
Welcome to Markup Mondays. My name is Delante Brady, Chief Analyst and six-figure earner master trader with Bold People Get Rich, creator of the Snipers Anonymous course. And this is where we analyze the financial markets, educate the community on finances and investing, and we go over the topic of the day. All right. Welcome to the call, everybody. Go ahead and let me know where you calling in from. Let me know the city and state. If you're watching the recording, feel free to drop comments inside the comment box. I will respond to them and get to them. All right. And the first thing that we always do on financial or on Markup Mondays, excuse me, I'm still waking up, y'all. If anybody who follows me knows, we just announced that we moved to Africa a little over a month ago. So it is, with the time change, it is 2 a.m. It is 2 a.m. in the morning over here. So I'm still waking up, still kind of getting used to, waking up at this time, running the show, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm going to wake up. I got my watermelon juice and I'm ready to go. But the first thing that we do on Markup Mondays is we go over last week. We review what we went over last week, right? So I'll go over what we marked up last week. Then we'll get into the news for the upcoming week. And then after that, we'll get to marking up charts and we'll get into our financial gem of the day. All right, let's see who's on the call. Angel from Toledo, Ohio, welcome. Denver from Akron, welcome. Kashif from Ohio, welcome. Christine, Portland, good vibes. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Oh yeah, no problem, Denver. No problem. This is what I do. This is what I love to do. I know that it helps a lot of people. It gets people ready for the week. I'm realizing that is more than just marking up, and finding a couple entries. Is really giving people a vision, of the market as far as how they want to maneuver the market, and it's helping a lot. So, hey, anything I could do, I'm doing the work. I'm doing the good work, fighting the good fight. What's going on, Larry? Any pairs that you guys want me to go over to, go ahead and drop that in the comments as well. But let's go ahead and go over last week's markup. All right, so last week on EU, we were looking for a sell from a daily sell zone, right? So higher time frame, I was saying expect a lot of volatility because of what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. And so we picked targets that were further away, right? And let's go ahead and make this full screen. Put me at the bottom there. All right, cool. So we had our daily sell zone, came up to the daily sell zone, which also happened to be a monthly low, all right? That was a monthly low around the daily sell zone. That was the area that we picked, and it came right up into the area and it hit. Now, for me, I did not catch this trade. I did catch some trades within the sell, but I did not catch this particular trade because it happened outside of my trading window. Now, if you don't trade with a trading window, you come to Markup Mondays, you've seen it got, it came to that area, then you caught that play. Good for you. Good for you. It's all good. We have a direction now in the market though. This is what this does. So with this being a higher time frame sell zone, we have a direction to go once we drop down to the lower time frame. So automatically, right, we still have this buy zone that did not get hit. We did somewhat of a pullback. We know that we have a lot of bearish momentum from the higher time frame, right? And so what's happening now are pullbacks and extensions. So we're creating lower highs, lower lows, and the market is dropping, and is dropping with a lot of momentum. So I believe that this was a pullback. We started to turn around a little bit yesterday, but I believe this is also a pullback. And so I'll be looking for sales again this week. So let's go ahead and drop down to the lower time frame and see where that would be. Right. We have some reaction areas where some buys could happen as well. But like I said, for Markup Mondays, we'll focus on sales. I actually believe we're selling right now. I believe we're selling right now from this point. I don't know if the market is going to come back higher than this high right here. All right, so I'm going to mark this up as if it was a stop loss. But we'll see. We'll keep dropping down to the lower time frame and see if we can find another sell zone. And let me double check to make sure the broadcast is going good. Are y'all hearing me okay? I'm not choppy or anything. Footage is not choppy. Everything good with the connection. Right, 1 hour. All right, guys. So here's the sell zone that I see. As always, looking for the reaction, 20 pips. Let's go ahead and do the setup. Because if I'm looking for 20 pips, I shouldn't be risking any more than 20 pips. Let's see if that's around the high. It's a little below the high. All right. Let's give ourselves a couple more pips. Let's call it at 750. Let's call that entry at 1.09750. All right, that's gonna give us that extra little room there we need right above the high. And we are going for 20 pips, which is not even at a low. All right, so expecting a reaction from this area tonight. Hopefully it does not happen within the next couple of hours, because my trading window, personally, I don't trade until 1 o'clock in the morning. That's when my window starts, 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, I do see this trade possibly going further, but I'm just focusing on the reaction. But as far as what I see the market doing for the rest of the week, I believe, like I said, we're going to be looking for sales. So for anybody who's watching publicly, who's not a part of the course or the sniper gang, what you want to be looking for throughout the week, if this does happen, if this does play out this way, EU falls from here and we continue going down, expect this low to get taken out. All right, so this low will be the target, and then this area will be the buy area. And of course, you want to wait for a structure to form, because this is a higher time frame buying area. But I'm expecting EU to sell off. If we do sell off from here, I'm expecting it to continue down, and this is the low that we're going to target. Let me go ahead and put that on the bird's eye view, so y'all can see what that looks like. right? We're expecting this to extend beyond this low. That first area will be that 127%. We got our 1618 and then our overextended or oversold area here. As far as a buy, I can't call anything. I don't want to call anything because we have a lot of bearish momentum. So I'm only going to call the sell this week. All right, so that's what we have for EU. We are expecting a sell from this area. All right, let's see what you guys dropped in the chat. All right, GU. All right, let's go ahead and go over GU. If anybody didn't know, just in case y'all didn't know, it was breaking news earlier in the day. But Russia, it's interesting. Russia has requested assistance, military assistance, and economic assistance from China. And y'all know what that means, right? A friend of my enemy is my enemy. We've already known that China and America were enemies. But with Russia going to war with Ukraine, even though this is somewhat of a proxy war, like America is not like really in it. They kind of like just supplying the troops and, you know, helping out economically. But once China, if they help Russia, then that's really I mean, you got to call that, you have to classify that as a world war. Like, you got 3-4 superpowers supporting each other in going to war. And so with that being said, oil is going to continue to rise, gas prices are going to continue to go up, and investors are going to continue to invest in precious metals. All right, just drop the gem there. All right, so GU. I love the market structure that's been formed. Every time I come here, I see this. High, low, boom, boom. We just go from here, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, strong pullback, lower, low. All right. How much have these lows been extending beyond the last low? So the first low is here. So how far did this extend beyond this low right here? 127. All right, let's see if we can find a pattern. How low did this low extend beyond this low? 127, almost in 1618. All right. And so in between 127 and the 1618, let's see what kind of extension we got here. We are at the 127, could possibly go down to the 1618, but we are in an area where it probably should start bouncing. Now let's see if we can find some evidence to the left of why a bounce would happen. All right, boom, boom. Oh, nice movement here. All right, so just looking at on the daily, remember we talking about not looking at specific candles, but looking at the down movement, Angel, right? The down movement. So let's go ahead and find us a buy zone, an area where we should start to see a bounce. And we are in that area right now. All right, so should start seeing some structure form within this green box. But as far as what's going on right now, it's a lot of momentum to the downside. So let's go ahead and look for that sell, because like EU, I believe we'll get somewhat of a pullback on GU and then an area to sell from. Looking at the daily, let's look at this price action. Boom, came all the way down, came back up into it here. Boom. All right, so it looks like from the structure of the candles, the open and the closes and the wicks, that a retracement has already happened. We do have a lot of imbalance to be filled here, but unless there's a lot of news or some major news releases on GU, I don't know if we'll come back up and fill that imbalance this week. Right, because it looks like it's going to go further down, and this is on the daily. So it looks like we're trading in between this range here and whatever range is being created on the downside. We don't know if this is going to go further down or continue up, but here's the range that I'm going to be looking within. And what I do when I do this, when I say I'm trading within this range, that means that I'm going to be looking for my entry under this high. I already have a bias that I'm looking for a sell. I do acknowledge the imbalance that is above it, and I don't take that out of the analysis. But as far as looking for the entry, the first entry will be within this range here. And following the institutional footprint, all right, we do have some imbalance here. I like this imbalance within the range. But following the institutional footprint, it's like our last reaction was here. And so technically, with this breaking structure, let's go ahead and keep dropping down to the time frame. I know that GU is coming from there, and so boom, found ourselves on. All right, so that's what I got for GU, Angel. I believe that we started to buy here, right? Did a fake buy. See how we started to buy? We created some structure, strong move up, and then boom, we came right back down and broke structure. All right, so I believe that they're going to continue down. It is 8:24 right now. If we come back up to this area around 1 o'clock in the morning, I think that's a high probable trade setup. Let me see what the pips look like as far as risk. All right, so if you were to enter here on GU is a more volatile pair. It's not like EU, so you don't do the typical 20 to 30 pips. All right, I would go for about 40 pips. And then, of course, you want to do the same amount. That would be a 1-to-1 ratio. So if we did reject from here, we would be going right back down to where the support was. But there's a possibility. Let's see how far this has extended so far. All right, we've extended to the 1618. So the 200% is the furthest I would sell down to. All right, if you wanted to extend this trade out and maybe go for 70 pips, that would be like the max. But I will go ahead and do a 40 for 40 on that particular trade setup. Of course, throughout the week, we're going to see more things form. And if that fails, then I wouldn't count out a sell, right? This imbalance getting filled in, and then a sell from this area. So I do see a second sell zone. And that would be my last sell within this range, all right? So first sell zone, this is where I believe we're coming from. This would be the second sell zone. If this sell zone fails and gets blown through, same setup up here, 40 pip stop loss, 40 pip take profit. And that is what I have for GU. All right, let's go ahead and see. Detroit. All right, and like I said, y'all, I'm still waking up. Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and go over the news. So we just went over GU and EU, but let's go over what's going on for the week as far as news and what we need to be looking out for, because that is very important. All right, give me a quick second to bring this up. Okay, let me look at look at this question real quick. So LDG asked, this is a sell inside of a buy zone? Yeah, because ultimately what's going on from the higher time frame is bearish momentum, right? It's bearish momentum. So I'm looking for sales. Even though it's within a buy zone, we want to wait for structure to form before we take a buy from a higher time frame buy zone, right? Because we can't just get accuracy. I can't just target something from the daily and expect it to. That's going to be probably a 50 to 100 range, area, or 100 pip range area. And so you want to wait for structure to form for a buy before you start looking for buys. But as of now, we're looking for sales because everything is bearish. Everything has been bearish, and so we're not gonna, just try to buy from that area. And I'll go over it again. But good question, Larry. Does the trend matter on that, bro? Okay, so Kashif asked, does the trend matter on that? So I don't look at trend lines. I look at market structure. I look at highs, lows, lower highs, lower lows, higher highs, higher lows. All right. So I don't draw trend lines. I don't see trends. I only see market structure and where institutions are getting into the market, where institutions are taking liquidity, right? They kind of tip off their position in the direction that they want to go based on little details that you identify, liquidity sweeps, things like that. So the trend doesn't really matter to me. Like I said, I don't draw trend lines. I only see market structure, and I try to train my students to only see market structure, highs and lows, lows and highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows. That's it. That's it. No trend lines, higher highs, higher lows, lows and highs. But good question. Okay. All right, here we go. Make sure we're good. Okay. So what is going on for the upcoming week for the United States dollar? Also have the pound on here. Also have the Japan yen as well. So if there's anything significant or important going on with those pairs throughout the week, we're going to see that. All right. I only have red folders highlighted. Monday, we've already had retail sales for EU. What's coming up for Tuesday? Unemployment rates, unemployment change. This is going to be big. All right. This should play a factor into the analysis we just did. Because we have unemployment rates at 3 o'clock in the morning for the pound, expect volatility around that time. And if it's close to the entry around the time that news is, like for example, say I entered the trade at 1 o'clock, we came up to the area, it's 1 o'clock, I got into the trade, it started rejecting, and it doesn't come to my take profit, but it's getting close to news release. I'm either setting my stop loss at break even in profit, or I'm taking the profit off the table and I'm gonna let news go ahead and play out, or I set it to break even and let news play out, right? If it happens that way, if the entry doesn't happen before 3 o'clock, wait for news to happen. It may go up to the entry and hit it. I would not take it during the news though. You want to wait for the aftermath on that. All right. So unemployment changes at 3 o'clock in the morning. Just be conscious of that, Angel. EU, we have the economic sentiment index that's going to be at 6 in the morning. And then for the Japan yen, have a red folder balance of trade. That is going to be this evening. It's going to be this evening. All right. Wednesday, we got unemployment rates for EU at 5 in the morning. United States dollar, 830, 830, 830, 830. Retail sales, all red folders. So on Wednesday, if you trade the New York session, that is at the New York Open at 8:30. Expect volatility. If you're not already in the market, I would not suggest trying to trade news while news is happening. And then on top of that, Wednesday is going to be a funny day, and maybe even Tuesday. And the reason why I'm forecasting that is because we have the Fed interest rate decision. They are supposed to be changing interest rates this month. Actually, they've been talking about it for the past 3 months. March is supposed to be the month that they make a change, and that is going to, when they change the interest rates, you're gonna see crazy candles inside of all of the pairs in foreign exchange. Crazy candles. All right, so really be wary of that on Wednesday. We got the Fed interest rate decision. That's at 2 o'clock in the eve, or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, evening on Wednesday. And we got the economic projections, and then the Fed press conference. On Thursday, we got EU news at 6 o'clock in the morning. Big news day for GU. All right, so for the pound, we got the interest rate decision. That's going to be at 8 o'clock in the morning, right before the New York Open. Then we have jobless claims for the U.S. All right, so Thursday is going to be a big day for GU, Angel. Jobless claims on top of the pound's interest rate decision. Be wary on that day. All right. Then in the evening, outside of the trading window during the Asian range, we have some inflation rate news and interest rate decision for the Japan yen. So we'll probably see a lot of movement outside of the trading window during that time on Thursday. And Friday, we don't trade, but if you do, we got existing home sales for the United States dollar at 10 o'clock in the morning. All right. So that is what we have for news. All right, let's go ahead. Let's go back. Let's look at GU again real quick so I can explain what I mean. And then we'll look at a couple other pairs too. All right, Larry. So ultimately, when I'm looking at the market, the higher time frame direction and institutional order flow determines what I'm most likely to do from the lower time frame. All right, and so because we've been creating lower lows and lower highs, I believe this is an extension. As far as these are real close targets too. These aren't far targets. This is something that's probably going to happen tonight. And I don't believe GU is done going down. All right. I'm just following the institutional footprint. I said the second sell zone, even if this one gets blown through, the second sell zone would be here. But from the higher time frame, what's going to have to happen? What's going to have to happen from here is we're going to have to create that 3-bar pattern. All right, so the first thing that I'm looking for is the 3-bar pattern. So I want to have the low candle in the middle, and then I want to have the higher highs on either side. Right now, we haven't even started to turn around. It hasn't shown any signs of strong rejection. All I'm seeing right now is lower highs and lower lows, and lower lows and lows being broken. So it's not until we start to see that pattern form and we start to see a reversal from the higher time frames where we got the low, then we got the higher lows on either side of the candle, right? The 3-bar pattern or the pitchfork. And then that's when, with that happening within a suspected higher time frame buy zone, then we'll start to look for buys. But we could come all the way down to this low here, right? So with the volatility and the news going on in the market, anything is possible, anything can happen. But just going off of what I've seen in the past happen over and over again, that's how you want to handle that situation. All right, let's go over AU. I believe we marked this up last week. Yep, so buy zones got blew through, but they turned into mitigation zones throughout the week on AU. AU created a lot of imbalance on the way down. Funny because AU was really kind of like in a consolidation range, but we've come down to a higher time frame buying area. But this is also AU, which kind of follows EU, and that is a lot of bearish momentum. Some tricky price action. All right, so for AU, just looking at it from the higher time frame, I will have to pick some further targets on here. I don't see anything for a buy. I'm only seeing sales. I would only feel comfortable with all this imbalance that's taking place. From the 4 hour, it would have to come, back up at least to the 50% or up to this area here for me to take a sell. Let's drop down to the lower time frame. Okay. So with this being a mitigation area or a mitigation zone now, right? The old buy zone that got blew through. So let's call this old buy zone. New mitigation area. Right, with this being a mitigation zone, mitigation area, we do have some imbalance. Close sale that I see, take a chance on would be here. All right, so just like EU, we got some EU and GU, we have some really close targets for sales. And first sell zone. And just like on EU, AU moves the same as far as speed and volatility. So this will be another 20 pip trade, 20 pip stop loss, 20 pip take profit. Right, just looking for the reaction. And so this would be the area within price level 0.72300, 0.72500. Let's see what type of pullback this will be. All right, because the first pullback, we pulled back 618. So let's see where the 618. All right, so taking the sell from here would be a really shallow sell. All right, so I can pull out the fib for confirmation. Oh, what happened? Is everybody still with me? My screen just froze. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's do this. Let's move this sell zone up here. I would feel more comfortable trading off of the fib because this is not even, if we sold from down here, this is not even a 38% retracement. All right, so move that sell zone up So first sell zone. Yep, I like this area better. Let's move this up here. All right, so the first sell zone has changed. It is now in between the price level of 0.72800 and 0.72950. All right, so that would be the first sell zone, and then second sell zone is right above it, which if you go for 20 pips, you would get knocked out of that one if it did continue up and get right into the second one. All right, so that's what I got for AU. Let's wait for some of this imbalance to get filled. If it does take off from there, cool. Maybe we'll find another sell setup, or maybe we'll even start to see some structure form for a buy. All right. All right, but that's all we had. That's all we had for pairs. Somebody dropped GU. We went over EU, and we just went over AU. So that wraps it up for Markup Mondays, guys. I hope y'all caught that gem about investing in oil and investing in gold. Find a way to get into that. Bullionvault.com is what we use to invest in the actual physical asset of gold, and they also offer palladium and silver. Just throw that out there. You want to throw at least $2,000 in there, though. You want to throw at least $2,000 in there because there are insurance fees and maintenance fees because you actually own physical gold. They have different vaults around the world. They have vaults in London, vault in Singapore. So if you're gonna do that and you want to invest in gold that way, just make sure you have at least 2,000, or you buy at least 2,000 for it. As far as oil, it's a couple different ways you can do that. It's 3 different ways. You can do contracts. You can invest into something like an index, right, or indice, something where you're not actually investing in the physical asset itself, but you're investing in a company that maybe manufactures oil. All right, you can find that on different brokerages offer different assets, so you will have to look into different brokerages. All right, you got E-Trade out there, you got Webull, you got Cash App. It's a lot of different platforms out there. Do your own research though. Look into the brokerages, look into their spreads, and just see what assets they offer. And then you can also trade oil. Right, that's the last way. Actually trade it, like what we're doing in MetaTrader 4. There are brokerages out there that allow you to trade oil. Owanda, they allow you to trade Brent oil, and then Hugo's Way allows you to trade U.S. oil. All right, so that's how you can get into oil. Just do some research. You'll find out if you want to do contracts. Just be ready to receive oil or to cancel that contract before the date of delivery. Because when you invest in contracts, you actually invest in the physical asset, and they'll actually deliver the oil to you on the date that you have set of the contract. So just be careful with that if you decide to do that. But that wraps it up for Markup Mondays, everybody. Thank everybody for tuning in. I will see you all in the chats on the charts. Remember to stay safe and stay dangerous, and I will see everybody next Monday on the next Markup Mondays. Peace.